Hey, today I'm going to practice my podcasting skills a little more and show you my podcast setup. If you haven't listened to me before, I'm Jamie. I investigate and share data about the past and future of the world, though I'm not up to that just yet here in this podcast. Let me start by explaining that in general, podcasting is saving what you have to say uh, or yourself or uh, your voice, in this case, and video in a digital format so that it can be accessed by others and replayed later. I'm going to start. Now I'd like to switch to my cell phone and start by showing you the setup that I'm sitting in front of right now doing this recording. This is the explanation of my setup, which you usually don't see when people are podcasting because you're just seeing the result of their cameras and their microphones and all that. Behind me is my green screen here. Let's go back a little. It's basically just a green sheet. This was the $10 version off of Amazon. I put it on a closet rod and it's strapped to my chair down here. And then this is the rest of my setup. And this is the rest of my, this is better. Here's the green screen. It's strapped, just a sheet strapped to a pole, tied to the back of my chair. And then this is the rest of my, what I decided was a good enough setup to get started. And it's a bit much, but I had done podcasting before, so I had a microphone and a microphone mixer, and I just decided to use that for now, although we've been testing, and I think a USB mic is almost as good as these two units. And I have one here. I'm going to probably switch to it because it's easier and almost sounds better, made more for podcasting. I had an old video camera, so I've got that set up, and I've got it able to plug in here to my laptop. So I'm answering the question now of what's on a computer in general and what's on my computer specifically that allows you to record and edit podcasts. The first thing, as I just said, is a recorder, and I kind of covered that I'm using a video recorder, but it's plugged into my laptop. And then I am going to use this, show you my desktop now. And the software that I'm actually showing right now, it's a little confusing because it's showing my desktop, and on my desktop I have the software, and in this software itself, this bigger window, it's showing what's being recorded right now. So, and what it's showing what's being recorded now is showing what's being recorded now. So that's what these things are. But ignore all of these little windows in the middle, other than, as an example of this software and how it shows you what you're producing as you produce it. This software is called Open Broadcast Studio, and it's a type of recording software that's geared toward real-time podcasting. I'm not putting this video out in real time. I'm just using the button to record it to my hard drive, but I'm using other features, which are basically these inputs, so that I can input the camera. That's how it gets my picture over here, but I can also display my desktop at the same time. And so it's basically merging those two things together, and that's kind of the nature of Open Broadcast Studio. I'll keep it simple at that, but this is the software I'm using to record, and there are other software packages that you should, maybe would use to record, but this is a good one. So after recording, typically you want to edit, and at least here in Windows, I'm using this given Microsoft. It's an upgrade from a previous software called Windows Movie Maker, or there's another Windows Microsoft product, but this one's called Clipchamp. And the general nature of a video editor, and specifically this one in Clipchamp, is that later you can bring in the various things that you recorded. So here I've got two segments that I've recorded and one segment that I did on my earlier, you already saw it, on my phone. And then you can drag them here into a timeline, and then you can basically trim them and even put transitions between them. And so that's how I'm merging these various videos that I took at different times. And this software is a general nature of a editor software called, and this one's called Clipchamp. So that in general is the software side of doing a podcast. And I'm looking for my notes here. So I think to some extent this wraps it, or else I'll trim this part. And that's the general explanation of me, my podcasting setup, how I'm doing this. And we will come back to you next time with hopefully my first real statistics podcast, at which I intend to explain sampling basically, and a little bit about my view around basic statistics and things that I intend to be putting into any of my later data explorations. So please join me for that.